Recorded Books presents Landscape Turned Red, The Battle of Antietam, by Stephen W. Sears, narrated by Peter Johnson.
Of all the days on all the fields where American soldiers have fought, the most terrible by almost any measure was September 17, 1862. The battle waged on that date, close by Antietam Creek at Sharpsburg in western Maryland, took a human toll never exceeded on any other single day in the nation's history. So intense and sustained was the violence, a man recalled, that for a moment in his mind's eye the very landscape around him turned red. By almost any measure, too, Antietam was pivotal in the history of the Civil War. In September 1862, events across a broad spectrum, military, political, social, diplomatic, were rushing toward a climax. The battle in Maryland would affect all of them radically, turning the course of the war in new directions. It was a time of opportunity for the South and of peril for the North. Robert E. Lee had carried the war from Richmond to Washington and now led his army northward into Maryland in a bold effort to win independence for the Confederacy. The European powers, closely debating intervention in the American contest, were watching Lee's progress intently. Confederate armies were also on the offensive in the Western theater. The Union cause was at its nadir. The Federal Army, girding to meet Lee, stricken with a crisis of confidence, was entrusted to George B. McClellan, a general many believed to be gravely flawed as a commander. There was growing discontent in the northern states with the administration's management of the conflict. Abraham Lincoln's political support was divided and wavering even as he grappled with a revolutionary change of purpose, seeking to make this a war against slavery as well as a war for Union. When the two armies finally faced one another across the shallow valley of the Antietam and prepared for battle, the sense of crisis was palpable. With his flair for the dramatic, General McClellan announced that the fate of the Republic was at stake, and so indeed it seemed. This account of the Maryland campaign, of the complex backdrop against which it was played, and of the desperate struggle along the banks of the Antietam, is drawn in large part from the testimony of eyewitnesses. There was in this setting, the pastoral Maryland countryside, the rugged terrain at Harper's Ferry and South Mountain, the rolling farmland and open woodlots around Sharpsburg, a particular sense of history being made that set it apart from previous campaigning and inspired men to record their impressions in detail in journals and letters. Their accounts are an invaluable supplement to the official reports and dispatches and battlefield messages. Beyond providing such primary source materials,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?